Alright, this the Gnosis by the fucking Kurt Rudolph. Bing. This the niggas who was doing the spiritual shit first. The first niggas who was studying this fucking matrix shit and all that. Alright, boom. It say Gnosis is a religion of redemption. The cosmological and the anthropological teachings so far set out may already convey some impression of it. The word Gnosis itself, as we have seen it, has predominantly soteriological value and itself already clearly expresses the understanding of redemption. It is the act of self-recognition which introduces the deliverance from the situation encountered and guarantees man's salvation. For this reason, the famous Delphic slogan, "Know thyself," is popular also in Gnosis and is employed in numerous ways, especially in the Hermetic Gnosis text. That's basically saying that if you know yourself, you already redeemed. That's why you get all the fucking religions. They all based off know thyself and all that. They all based off redemption and all that. You get Jesus, you get characters who like signify. So that's why he get like, I'm the son of God. So basically he signifying he the son of God, which means he knows that he comes from the fucking source energy and shit, basically. So Jesus know, like, alright, he come from the source energy. So he's saying he the son of God. Basically, he is, and they look at it like, basically, he is God, all that type of shit. He know himself, know thyself. So that's what you want to do. You want to know yourself and shit. Like, me personally, I know now, like, alright, I come from the source. Basically, I'm a God. I can manipulate this shit into anything I wanted to be. Anything I could think, realize, imagine, dream. I could connect to the source, tap into that shit, make that shit really go down and happen, you feel me? So, that's what you doing if you spiritual. You basically just like a Gnostic nigga, like. And ain't basically specific to no fucking religion. That shit not specific to no religion, bro. Like, you ain't gotta be religious. You could be a cult or anything, like. As long as you know that, like how to tap into the source, you know yourself. You only can manipulate this shit to go how you want it to go by looking within. And that's what redeem you. It redeem your soul and all that. Now they go deeper into this shit for real. It says examine yourself and know who you are and how how you shall be. You have already come to knowledge and you will be called the one who knows himself, for who has not known himself knows nothing, but he who knows himself has already come to knowledge concerning the depth of all. If you know yourself, you already come to the knowledge to how deep everything is. You came to the knowledge of the basis of everything, of how shit go in this fucking world. This shit say, you have already come to knowledge, and you will be called the one who knows himself. For he who has not known himself knows nothing, but he who knows himself already come to the knowledge concerning the depth of all. Ignorance or darkness, which comes to the same thing, prevents man from coming to knowledge of himself, as the seventh Hermetic tractate forcefully portrays it. But first, you must tear up the garment you're wearing, the fabric of ignorance, the base of evil, the bond of corruption, the dark wall, the living death, the perishable corpse, the grave you carry around. The grave you carry around with you, the robber within you who hates through what he loves and envies through what he hates. Such is the enemy whom you have put on as a robe, who drags you by the throat downwards towards himself. He drags you by the throat downwards towards himself, so that you may not look up and see the beauty of the truth and the good that lies therein, and hate his own wickedness and perceive his plot which he has laid against you. He who makes insensitive the organs of sense, which are such, blocking them with such matter and filling them with filthy desires, so that you neither hear what you ought to hear, nor see what you ought to see. Basically saying, you getting pulled down by your lowest fucking form. You getting pulled down through your throat, basically through your fucking sack. You getting pulled down by your fucking lowest form into darkness, where you can't even find out who the fuck you are by going through the crown and becoming enlightened. You're not even getting to the throne or none of that. You're not getting to the crown, getting enlightened, because you're getting pulled through your throat down by your lowest form to the root, to your root. And they get into the root shit too. Like, the Gnostic niggas, they get into this root shit too. They talking about, it say, for so long the root of wickedness, is hidden. It is strong, but when it is recognized, it is dissolved. But when it becomes visible, it perishes. But Jesus plucked out a root, the whole place, but others are partially. Basically, they're saying, basically, if you're looking at it in a Bible sense for real, they saying Jesus plucked out the root. Basically, he got down to the root of the problem that was within him for real, and he fucking dissolved it for real. And by dying, that basically signified how he left the whole world behind, because the root of the problem is the world. When you recognize that the root of the problem is the world, that's when you fucking realize you gotta look within. And when you look within, that's how you go through your transformation, become fucking enlightened and shit. So they start getting into that shit. So real shit. As for us, let each one dig down after the root of evil which is in him. Pluck it out of his heart to the root, but it shall be plucked out if we recognize it. But if we do not recognize it, it strikes a root within us and brings forth fruit in our hearts. It say Gnosis thus has directly exposed the serotological function of this redemption for real. The conflict between knowledge and ignorance is a universal one, deliberately appointed by the Father to make the victory of Gnosis manifest. So the original teaching sees it. Now he, the Father, since he wished to reveal his riches and his glory, set the great conflict in the world, because he wished that the contenders should become manifest. All those contending should, through an evaluated and attainable knowledge, leave behind them what has come into being and despise it, that they should press on to which exists the true being. And those who strive with us as adversaries, warring against us, we are to counter their ignorance through our knowledge. Since we already know about the attainable form from which we come forth, we possess nothing in this world that hold the power of this world which has come into being may not hold us back in the heavenly worlds, and which universal death resides. It say the latter illusion is to dangers of the journey of the soul through the supermundane spheres to which we shall return. Basically saying that when you realize that your universal existence, when you realize all that shit, nothing in the world could fucking fade you. You let go of everything, that basically all that superficial shit. You want to get your body right. You want to get your fucking Bitcoin up. You want to do all that dumbass shit. You want to get the Ferrari. You want to get your followers up. You want to do all that superficial shit. You buying into the world. You so far from spiritual. You in fucking darkness. Your ass in ignorance. Your ass in fucking ignorance. When you really need to be looking at this shit, focusing on this shit, going within, people paying their money, buying into the world. There's nothing left in this world. You gotta get spiritual and follow this shit. Cause you gonna fucking go back to where the fuck you supposed to return. If you fucking got the knowledge. If not, you gonna be fucking lost in darkness, bro. You gotta fucking know. That's why know thyself the most important shit, bro. You gotta fucking know who the fuck you are, bro, and not fucking know what you like, know what clothes you like to wear, know what cars you like to whip. Not that type of shit. Not that type of shit. Going to the darkest part of who you are and deal with those fucking underlying insecurity shits. Then that's when